The numbers are right. Everything reconciled. Nothing is missing. There's more data than ever, and less room to think. So what do we actually do next? That's the moment you realize the math was almost helpful.
Hey, it's Cashflow Mike, and this is the Clear Path to Cash podcast. I'm glad you joined me today because we're going to be talking about why clean books still feel wrong. So let me ask you something. Have you ever looked at a set of financials and everything was clean, it tied out, it makes you feel good, and you still thought, man, it just doesn't feel right? Right? Well, that's the strange place to be in as an advisor because technically you did everything right. The reports are accurate, the work is all done, but there's something underneath that just doesn't line up. Cash feels tighter than it should. Debt's creeping back in the wrong direction, and margins look fine, but the business still feels pressure. And you just can't point to one line and explain it. Well, that moment, that's where most advisors stop. They assume that if the reports are right, the answer must be in there somewhere. So they look harder, they run more reports, they pull more data, but nothing actually changes. Because the tools we use, they're designed to explain what happened, not diagnose what's happening, right? They're incredibly good at reporting. And when the conversation shifts to what's really going on here, well, that's where they fall short. And that's where they're almost helpful. This is the shift that separates average advisors from great ones. Most stay in the role of historian. They document the past, they explain the numbers, but the advisors who really stand out, they think like a financial doctor. They look at the numbers and ask, what's the underlying issue? What's causing all the pressure in this company? And where do we focus first? They're not just reading reports, they're diagnosing the situation. Analyze, diagnose, then treat, right? Think about a doctor for just a second. If you walked in and said, hey, something feels off, and they just handed you your lab results and said, everything looks fine, that wouldn't be enough. You'd expect them to interpret it. You want them to connect the dots and tell you what matters. That's the role clients are starting to expect from you, the advisor. And that's exactly why we built the Clear Path to Cash. It gives you a structured way to step into that moment when everything looks right, but it isn't, right? To move from, I can't explain this, or I need more time, or let me get back to you, to here's what's actually happening and here's what we're going to do next. So if you've ever felt that disconnect, right, that disconnected moment, if you've ever had that moment where you just didn't feel like the numbers told the whole truth or the full story, well, then you need to see how this works. I invite you to join me on a demo every Friday, and we're going to walk you through it because that moment, that's where the real advisory begins. And the Clear Path to Cash, it was built for that moment. Hey, it's Cashflow Mike, and welcome back. I got to tell you, I've been on this kick where I'm showing people hidden value inside the Clear Path to Cash app, right? The one that's for advisors. Now, one of the things you might not know, but you can keep, if you're data hungry like I am, you can keep stats on just about anything, including your bids and your competitors' information as well. So let me kind of show you. Right now I'm in the tool library, right? It's part of the I, which is identify what's causing it to be a burning issue. And I'm going to look at the bid calculator. So I'm going to type in, look for bid. There it is, bid and costing calculator. I'm going to show you both of these tools today. So under the bid and costing calculator, I can create something for a project, like I'm a general contractor, a service, like maybe I'm back in janitorial or hotel staffing, manufacturing, if I want to put parts together. I can create templates so I don't have to recreate these all the time. But at this point, I'm going to say, hey, I'm going to go to the, Smith residence, and we're just going to build something for John Smith. And we could always describe it. We're going to build stuff on their property. And I have a materials catalog where I can already have all my materials that I know I use. The people that work for me, I can kind of put in their labor rates, so I can kind of get a bid estimate almost instantly here, where maybe I'm going to use 5 gallons of this and I don't know, maybe 100 of these and 50 of those, right? Basically, I'm just saying I'm using this amount of material and I already have the cost built into the catalog. Then I'm going to have Mike put in 8 hours, and Sarah's got 8 hours, and then the senior guy, he's only going to do 3 hours of supervision. So there's my labor put in as well. And of course, I've got suggested overhead and suggested markup. This is based on your financial situation. So these numbers will change based on every company that comes in there, because we want to make sure we're covering cost and we're actually making enough profit on every bid. So I can override those if I want to, or I can use them, right? So I can come down here and say, I want to use my 24.6. Let's apply it. I'll apply this one, and it changes all of it. And now I have a bid summary. I should bid this job out at $2,500, and I've got insights and analysis on it. So when I save the bid, it's going to be put into my analytics dashboard, right? So now I've saved the bid. I've got it right there. It was super easy to do. And now I've moved to the new tool, the bid history and analytics. And I can go over here and now see the Smith residence is already in my bid list, and I can update it. I can edit it. I can go back and change it, whatever I need to do, whatever date it happened. But if I update it, it's going to be looking for what happened. Hey, when you gave that bid, what happened? What's pending decision? I'm waiting for something from the client, or I either won it or I lost it. Maybe I won the bid. So if I won the bid, I can put the primary reason why we won. I can put in what margin got delivered actually when I did it, and any notes. Or I could say we lost it, right? So I can say that we lost it. I can go back here and say I lost that bid. And same thing. What was the reason? What was the winning competitor's bid? You know, I always ask, hey, you know, what did the other person do? Because I want to get as much intelligence as I can. If you know the amount, why not? Why not see where your prices compare in the market? And anything you learn from just talking to the client after you lose the bid can go into it. So let's just do this. We lost this one. It was a timing issue because we couldn't get it. We lost it to ABC Contractor. And their bid amount was, we're going to say it was like $2,700, right? Because I couldn't do it in the time that they wanted, and they were actually a little higher, so they took the higher bid. Wanted it done over the weekend. And what lesson did I learn? We need availability to contractor, available labor for weekend work, right? Because maybe my 3 people that I have on my team doesn't want to work weekends. So I need to have some available stuff. So I can mark that as lost. Now, you can see that now it's lost. I can go back and edit it if I want to. But more importantly, I can go back to my analytics dashboard, right? I've had 6 bids in my history. I win about 33% of the time. The value of all my bids that I won was $400,000, and I make about $7% each. And when I lose on price, I'm usually about $11,000 higher because I bid on bigger jobs. Then I've got, hey, timing issues or prices too big. All of a sudden, this world of analytics pops into your view, right? And how many bids did you do per month? How many were won? How many were lost? And then lastly, I can analyze all the bids if I want to, or get some market rate intelligence. If I analyze all the bids, it's going to go through my whole bid history and give me some intelligence on the way I'm bidding. It looks at all the market, the margin, what I'm doing it. Why did I win? Why did I lose? Am I competitive on price? But all of a sudden, now I've got a 90-day action plan and a hidden pattern that shows up. I have market intelligence using AI and the data that I'm putting into this product. And then lastly, if I want to know, I can go out here to market rate intelligence and say, I'm in general contracting. And we're going to say right here in San Antonio, and I'm going to look at 25 miles. I'll go 50 miles because I'm not afraid to, right? That's about how much I'll travel for my business. I can search, and now what it's doing is looking out there for any published prices of what other people are doing. So think about all the data you have at your fingertips right here in this product. They charge anywhere from $100 an hour up to $200 an hour. And this is based on what they can derive from what they can find on the web. So this is another way to help your clients stay competitive, make money, not lose money on their bids, and understand why they win or lose things so they can do more of it or do less of it depending. I'm Cash Flow Mike. Thanks for taking a look.